Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got Bertha Hurt over there at his casa, and you've got Big Lanny over here at mine. We're bringing you the video that all of you have been asking for, a big dividend stock analysis. Is Lockheed Martin an undervalued dividend stock to buy?
We are pumped up, everybody, to talk to you about Lockheed. But first, you know the drill, everyone. Smash the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up on this video if you love getting dividend news, dividend increases, and more importantly, more dividend stock analyses while we always pursue our journey towards financial freedom. So everyone, roll up your sleeves, brew that coffee, get ready. It's time to talk Lockheed.
And if you don't know by now, the way we find undervalued dividend stocks, or the way we analyze a stock to see if they're undervalued, I get Bert in the chokehold, lift him up for the choke slam, pedigree him, and then he fights out of it, stuns me. And then all of a sudden we open up the Dividend Diplomats Stock Screener. And Bert, what are those 3 easy, simple metrics that we are here to teach the community about in our stock screener?
I mean, you covered them right there. Choke slam, pedigree, and stone cold stunner. I'm kidding. It's first we look at the price to earnings ratio to make sure it's less than the S&P 500. Then, of course, we look at the dividend payout ratio to make sure it's less than 60%. And always, we look at a history of increasing dividends because we are dividend growth investors through and through. For that, we look at how long a company has increased its dividend and its 5-year average growth rate. And then last, if a company checks those first 3, we take our bonus metric, look at it, shine it up real nice, and then take a look at the dividend yield right there.
I see where you're going with that. And we had a lot of comments, especially in the last video when Bert and I talked about 9 expected dividend increases to come this April, the best month to be a dividend growth investor. We can't wait for that. But a lot of people there were asking about Lockheed Martin. Should I buy Lockheed Martin? Is Lockheed Martin undervalued? Do you wear Lockheed Martin boxer shorts when you go to bed at night? Does Bert have a tattoo on his back that says LMT? Bert,
we're not going to answer that question here in this video. Our interest is piqued. So rather than ask you to take a look and tell us if Lockheed Martin's undervalued, we just said, F it, we're going to look at it ourselves, record a video, talk Lockheed Martin, run it through our screener, and come up with our own conclusion and share it with all of you on our YouTube channel.
So today we are doing just that. It's time to do a deep dive Dividend Diplomat style on Lockheed Martin. Again, ticker symbol is LMT, and they have been a darling of a dividend growth stock for the better part of 10 plus years. And yes, I use the word darling, probably the first time I've ever said it on our YouTube channel. You guys better remember that. Now
I've tape and figure it out.
I've personally have owned Lockheed Martin since I think 2010.
It was one of your first stocks that you bought, right? That's what's fun about
my stocks I bought. And for all the investors out there, it can get really, either mad at me, but the price was around $65 to $70 a share back then.
I don't know why we get mad at you. I feel like we'd be pumped for you, if anything.
Yeah, the yield on cost, or the YOC on my investments, over 20%. So it's all about the dividends now, baby.
Yeah, so before we go into the metrics, let's give a quick little intro here about Lockheed Martin. They're obviously one of the largest aerospace companies. What makes Lockheed awesome and why we are so pumped up to talk about this company and why it continues to grow is how tightly wound it is with the government and the defense contracts that just come rolling in for Lockheed. What's insane is, I was just looking up Seeking Alpha before we got started, and the last articles were Lockheed secures $100 million plus Navy contract. Lockheed secures $600 million missile contract. And the list just keeps going on. Oh yeah, they secured another $280 billion, then another $1.12 billion. So yeah, a lot of, oh wait, I almost forgot that $2.77 billion contract. But I mean, that's what's cool about Lockheed. They have a very stable source of income because let's look at our defense budget. It hasn't gone down, and it probably won't any time soon. Lanny keeps cycling through that same single right there.
Same $1 bill.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, that's what makes this company great. And if you look quickly, just to summarize some from their last earnings release in January, talking about the results. 2020, they had $65 billion in sales, almost $7 billion in earnings, $24.50 EPS, and 8.2 billion in cash flow from operations. That was a 9% annual growth rate, 9.6% earnings growth rate. So yeah, growth in top line, growth in bottom line, more cash coming in, more earnings, more dividends. That's the quick background about Lockheed Martin.
And it is worth to point out that Lockheed Martin's biggest customer, to no surprise, is the US government. So long as the US government continues to receive substantial amount of funding for defense, Lockheed Martin stands to win.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is in this earnings release, they even put their 2021 outlook, and what do they project? Sales between 67 billion and 68.5 billion, an increase from last year. They projected earnings per share of 26 to 26.3, an increase from last year, and cash flow from operations 8.3 million or billion or greater, an increase from last year. So yeah, everything is looking up here for Lockheed Martin.
And I'm very confident that they'll probably cross 68 billion in revenue. And as Bert said, they've been just growing that top line and bottom line year after year. Very high performing company. And again, it's a very nice dividend growth stock to hold in your dividend investment portfolio. But the question now is, how do they look through the Dividend Diplomats Stock Screener? Are they an undervalued dividend stock to buy right now? So Bert, let's kick it off. What's that stock price so that we can segue into the metrics here?
Yeah, let's do it. As of this video was recorded on Saturday, April 3rd. So their last closed stock price was $371.02. Forward analyst earnings for 2021 from Yahoo Finance, which we use in all of our stock screeners, were $26.33, which actually was right on the high end of that range that management's forecasting. That gives you a PE ratio of 14. So let me tell you this, everybody. What have we been talking about with the S&P 500? Lanny, what has the PE ratio of the S&P 500 been?
Well, for all of those that haven't known this, the S&P 500 broke 4,000.
I wish I had cash to throw around on the video right now. I'm sorry I don't have any next to me.
Here, let me see if I got some still laying around.
There it is.
That dollar bill. Hold on, I need that. But the S&P 500 at 4,000 is actually now trading at, based on earnings in the S&P 500, at 40.93 times earnings.
So there you have it. With a PE ratio of 14, Lockheed Martin is clearly trading at a discount compared to the market. Moving into metric number 2 here, the dividend payout ratio. Their current dividend is $10.40 per share annually. Divide that by the $26.33 of expected earnings. That gives you a payout ratio of 39.5, well below our 60% threshold we use, and right on the cusp of being a perfect dividend payout ratio.
In the words of Christmas Vacation, she's a beaut clock.
Yes, she is. So let's move into metric number 3 right here, the dividend growth history. They've increased that dividend for 18 consecutive years, less than a decade away from becoming a dividend aristocrat, a company that has increased its dividend for 25 consecutive years. They have a very strong 5-year dividend growth rate as well. The average is 9.68%. So yeah, a nice nearly double-digit growth rate for a company that increased sales and increased earnings by just over 9% compared to last year.
Yeah, you've got to love the growth rate history here, people. I mean, 18 plus years, going hard, going strong. They didn't slow down at all during the pandemic last year, specifically in September of 2020 is their annual increase. And, they increased their dividend last year during a global pandemic by 8.33%, just to give you a little frame of reference there. The year in the past was 9%, so 9%, 8.3%. Again, still a fantastic growth rate with no signs of slowing down at a 40% dividend payout ratio.
Exactly, Lanny. So now that Lockheed's passed the first 3 metrics of our stock screener, let's talk about that bonus yield, that bonus metric, the dividend yield. Currently, we're calculating a yield of 2.8%. So that's a very nice premium compared to the stock market, much higher than your online savings account of 0.5% at Ally, for example. So yeah, nice premium, but take that 2.8%, couple that with a near 10% growth rate right there. Now you're just rubbing it in my face that you have the cash next to it and I don't. I have so next time I've got almonds, but that's not going to really cut the thing for this video. So that being said, there's Landy's nice dividend factor right there. 2.8% yield plus a 9.68% average growth rate. That is some nice cheddar for all of us shareholders.
Yeah, big thumbs up, for Lockheed on every metric. Price to earnings below the S&P 500 at only 14 times earning. That's undervalued almost in any stock market. The payout ratio is pretty much in the perfect range. You could argue and say, it's 40%. They're in that 40 to 60%, which is the sweet spot for dividend investors.
Rounds up to 40% to me.
And then that growth, 18 plus years, almost a double digit on average for the 5-year. Pandemic was over 8% still. Paying a $2.60 quarterly dividend. I don't see any hesitations for them to keep going, with the 20-cent per quarter increase. Because even if they do that, it's still 7.7%, which combine that with that beautiful yield of 2.8%, 7.7 on top of that, still a great combination there, Bert.
Yeah, that's perfect. So the question is, what am I going to be doing with Lockheed Martin now? Lanny recently published his dividend stock watch list for the month, last week. I'll probably be coming up with one maybe at the end of next week, early next, or the week after, just to kind of see whatever and know what I'm seeing in the marketplace as well. You know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be adding Lockheed Martin to that watch list because look, the metrics speak for themselves.
Bert, hey, you take it easy, man. You take it easy on the video here.
All right, everybody. So I'll be doing that later. What are you doing with Lockheed? Are you going to be watching them as well, or even adding to your position maybe?
So Lockheed, my position's actually very big overall right now in my taxable account. They represent, I guess, under 5% of my overall portfolio, but that's one company that has 5%. And for those of you that haven't watched our videos throughout 2020, I know Bert and I we were buying also General Dynamics, ticker symbol GD. So between both of those companies, I definitely have over a 5% plus in the defensive industry. So I'll keep them on the watch list. Bert, they're probably more enticing for you because did you ever buy them?
No, I have General Dynamics. I kept telling myself I'll wait for Lockheed Martin to come down a little bit, and look where that's gotten me.
You got your GD.
Yeah, exactly. And plenty of other great dividend growth stocks too, so I can't complain. But it's okay. You've heard what we're doing. Lanny's going to be adding it to his watch list. So will I. Here's the question, though. It's not just about us here in this community. It's about you. What are you going to be doing with Lockheed Martin? Do you think they're an undervalued stock to buy? Are you watching, or are you going to be doing what Lanny was doing and throwing cash at your computer screen to buy some shares of Lockheed Martin? You let us know in the comment section. We're excited to hear your thoughts.
And if there are any other dividend stocks that you want us to do a deep dive on, I know we've gotten a few more on our list. Again, we're trying to stick to a pretty good schedule here. I know we're doing 3 times per week. Do you guys want to see more videos per week? Let us know in the comments if you guys want more, maybe an extra stock analysis or so during the week, because we can maybe add that in as well. Again, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. Give Bert a thumbs up over there. Give the Diplomats a nice subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, happy Easter. Hope you enjoyed the day. This is Bert and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.